Hello and welcome back to the channel where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. So we are on the road to finishing the demo by April 1st. And yesterday we added these little ruby elements here in the dungeon here. I did make some new element sprites off stream just to make it more purple like the Flamma spellcast, and we can pull those changes. Oh my god. Computer's so slow today. Alright. So let's take a look. Okay, so now we have Flamma rendering here in the HUD because we've got it equipped, and then it is now like a purpley red. I don't know. I kind of like just the red, but also my partner played it and she thought it was blood, so I thought maybe if we add purple it would look more like a rock than look like blood. So you can break it with your spellcast and you can collect it. Now we're basically done with this because, you know, there's collision detection before it is mined, and then when it's unmined, you can walk right over it. So this is basically all I wanted for the minerals, and we already have it implemented in the inventory here, as well as the saving system. So when you save and load, we're saving the ruby inventory too. Now, I think I might want to rename it from Ruby to something more specific to the game. Hey, good evening, Loki. How's it going? But for right now, it's called Ruby. In-game, I don't think it's called anything. I mean, in code, it's called Ruby. I don't think it's called anything official in-game just yet. But we do want to render the equipped spell in the HUD here in the pause state, because the spell turns off when we render it in the thing. So there is a thing we still have to add with this, and it is the vibrancy. So the spell has a certain amount of what I call vibrancy, which is basically energy left to cast spells. So the vibrancy is recharged at little meditation idols. So we need a little bar to stand for the vibrancy of an element, and then we can deplete it over time. If there's no vibrancy, you cannot cast a spell, and then it gets recharged when you meditate. But also we need, let's see, we need these to recharge. We need the mineral deposits to replenish over time. So I've thought about a couple different ways to do this. You know, I don't want people to be able to mine them and then go off screen, come back and mine them again, right? So right now they're just like permanently harvested. And you know what? I don't know. Part of me is kind of feeling like we don't make them recharge. And we just, well, I don't know. I was going to say we don't make them recharge and we just make the upgrades cost less, and we just make more little dungeons for them to explore and gather the materials. It's like more like hidden rooms with certain amount of elements in there. I don't know. Yeah, I guess for the demo, let's do like a 1 minute recharge, and then I'll do some thinking later on in the game if we want these to be more scarce. But I think for the demo, at least, it's good, because if you know, we can give them a reason to come back to this dungeon and play it again if there's some resources here in the center. So, but then again, they don't really have to even play it because it's right at the beginning. They can just push this rock once they have the green tunic and go get it. So it's not like a super chore, but they can come in and periodically check. And then we'll see about potentially adding a mineral or two on the other screens too, just as an extra bonus. So we'll add some here to this first room, and then we'll add some to the later rooms too. So let's try to do those two things today, which is let's get our minerals recharging after a minute, and not recharging, but respawning here as a harvestable mineral. And then we also need the vibrancy for our spell casting. So if we can add those two things today, I think it'll be a success. But also, we've got 2 weeks till the demo's done, so we got to really haul on doing the tough stuff, which, well, honestly, the dungeon was like one of the biggest parts. We already knocked it out, so I think the next hard part is actually doing the loot minigame success cinematic, as well as making the loot song for the loot minigame sound decent, right? So I'll have to do some testing to see whether or not I want to rehaul the string logic, the note logic, because right now we only have 12 notes. But actually 12 notes, but only like 8 are distinct. So we don't have a full major scale playable, but also we made it so that it sounds good if you strum all the strings. So we might be tweaking the notes and the strings that are being pulled. So that's kind of what I'm worried about in the next 2 weeks for the demo. I mean, there's a lot of polish we still need. There's a ton of polish, but you know, we can knock out little bits of polish fairly easily once everything else is kind of in place. So we're doing good. We do have quite a bit. Yeah, we got quite a bit left though. We have to make the refinery, which is going to be a castle interior with a new character, a new NPC in there. So we have to design a new NPC for the refinery, and then also like a little animation, and then like basically like a shop where you walk up and you tell her which element you want to upgrade, and she'll tell you the upgrade cost, and if you can afford it, you can get it. It'll upgrade your spellcast entity count and maybe the damage. Not really though, not really damage. Well, it'll just upgrade spellcast entity count up to 3 for the demo, because the bats die in one hit, so upgrading their damage won't do much on any front. So it only really help for the geckos if we increase damage, but even then they're cleared by 2. So yeah, once we add the refinery, we add the new character, we add the vibrancy, we have the recharge on the minerals, we need to add the artwork to get us over to the treasure chest that holds the first tome, and then we need to program their music for the first tome, and then make a little riddle for it. And the place that, you know, it's gonna say something like an old tree. It's gonna have like a riddle about an old tree or something, and then you have to walk to the overworld part of that tree and play the song. And when you do that, it'll cleanse the corruption in the waters for the opening area. And then once the water's cleared, you'll see that it unlocks a couple bridges to get over to the forest, or to another pathway over closer to the desert. And then that'll be the end of the demo. I think we'll make like a couple screens leading into another biome, and then we'll just have a screen that is just all of our weather systems. So like you walk in the desert, it does the sand blowing sandstorm, and you just can't walk further on any screen there. We'll just put like collidable map objects there, so you can't actually walk past it for the demo, so we can kind of limit the players so they can't explore that far. And then we have to make some pixel art for our overworld map. So this is based off what we really draw in the global map, but it's all that placeholder stuff. We have all the blue for the ice mountain, all the red for the volcano, all the sand for the desert, and green for the forest. So ideally it doesn't look so plain like this. You know, we can fudge it a little bit and fake it because the player can't explore this much. You know, the demo is only about this area here, you know, just in the forest up to the ice mountain and up to the desert, and you get stuck up here in the forest if you try to go up too far. So it's only about this much area in the demo. But it's cool that, you know, the player can see, oh, there's that many places, not counting all the underground dungeon levels. So it's 100 screens in the overworld, and who knows how many in the underworld. We haven't got that far yet. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, we've got a lot to do. We got a lot to do in 2 weeks, but let's finish the magic vibrancy and respawn, and then we'll see how we're feeling. And Jimmy just fell to the floor. Okay. So how this is working, we have a global mineral deposit table that is in our scene. Now, mineral deposits are the minerals that are collidable, and it's like a ruby that is unmined and it has that collision, and you can mine the ruby. Once you mine the ruby itself goes into the minerals table, and then it searches for player collision to increment your inventory count. So we have a mined field on mineral deposits, so we need to go in and check where we update them, and we need to possibly add a field to our mineral deposit class that is a harvest counter, you know, and once the thing is mined, we increment this harvest counter for all minerals. So like, doesn't matter what scene you're on, we update all the minerals, and then basically we're just listening for if the mineral count or the harvest count is greater than a minute, then we need, upon the next scene transition, we need to turn the minerals into unmined again so that they can be harvested. So let's check out our mineral deposit class, and we'll see if we can do this. You know, we have a mined variable. It's pretty simple. You know, we need a reset. It looks like all it is a self.image and a mined field that we'd have to reset. So and the harvest time, right? So harvest time is going to be 0. Now, in the update, we can say, you know, if we're mined, then we're going to increment our harvest time. And then I guess we can even do it here where we can say, well, if we're self-mined, well, yeah, we can't really do it here because I think the move is we do a little method that says like reset minerals here, because the idea is if we just set it here in the update, then if we're on the same screen as the harvested minerals, then once they pass the timer, the minerals will just appear ready to harvest again. And I think I want them to, you have to go onto the screen trigger a scene transition for them to get reset like that. I don't want them just popping into existence again. They're just going to get reset if you enter the screen and their harvest time is past the harvest limit or whatever we call it. So either we need to add a little method here, or we can just do it upon a finished transition, or we can I think Jimmy climbed back up again. Maybe not. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what the best thing to do, because we have to update these mineral deposits regardless of if they're mined or not. And we have to update them. We basically have to update them regardless of what scene we're on too. Yeah, we want them globally counting. So if we have, like, let's say in our play state, we say, let's go cycle through all the minerals in all the scenes. For every mineral deposit there is, let's increment its harvest time if it is mined. And then if that value is greater than whatever threshold, 60 seconds, let's say, then we're going to say, then we need to run the method on it, which is just reset mine upon a scene transition. Yeah, okay. So we'll give ourselves a method for the mineral deposit class, and it'll be called reset mineral. And we're basically going to just ask, okay, well, if our harvest time is greater than, we'll give ourselves a constant here. Let's, for right now, just do like 10 seconds or something. So we'll call it mineral harvest reset. We'll just say 10 seconds. Okay, and then for greater than this mineral reset harvest time, then we want to do three things. We want to change our image back to being unmined. We want to become unmined. It's actually mined. Mined gets false. And we need to reset our harvest time. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I want to add this dot harvest time onto each mineral deposit render so that we can verify that the times are unique and getting updated regardless of the scene. So we're going to add the print here to be harvest time. You know, we're just going to print the harvest time. And we'll print it up at the mineral deposits X and Y. Next, what we need is to update every mineral so that it increments this harvest time. So we'll do that in the play state. So in the update, we could, you know, I guess it's, you know, depending on what else we need in the game, you know, I'm just gonna clog up the play state for now, but we might need to move it later. So I'm gonna say that this is mineral harvest time, mineral harvest, mineral update. Okay. So this is what kind of sucks, right? We have to loop through everything in the other world, because as far as I know, there's only minerals. There's only minerals in the other world right now. So we could we could only cycle through instead of cycling through all 100 scenes of the other world. You know, we know for a fact there's no minerals on most of those. So we could just only update minerals on the current scene that we know minerals are at. But otherwise, hey Luke Wolf, welcome in. Thanks for the chat. Hope you're doing good. My allergies are killing me today. I think it's just all the wind, I think. But yeah, we're gonna look for yo, thank you for the follow, Luke Wolf. I appreciate that. You know, this is a map 411. The minerals here are on 412. And it looked like harvest time was rendering, so let's just cycle through our 412. So we're gonna cycle through for all of the objects in our map's 412 mineral deposits table. And we're going to just update them with delta time so that we can get that harvest count. Okay. So for right now, you know, we're printing up the harvest time on each mineral deposit. So we should be able to see it should only count once it becomes mined. So once we grab it, I'm going to test right away if we go off here. Okay, it does. It was at 7 and then it's at 10. So it does update regardless of if you collect it or not, and it stays on screen regardless of if you collect it or not. So they're able to have different harvest times. So the thing we're not doing is resetting these things, right? So we're not ever, we need to add to our finish shifting, right? So when we walk off screen here and begin a scene transition, as soon as we finish shifting, actually, yeah, as soon as we finish shifting, we're gonna check. I like doing it on the finish shift and not on the beginning shift, for no particular reason. Just in my brain make more sense. So we have this mineral harvest time reset of, I think, 10 seconds. So let's go to our finish shifting. And we're gonna add, before we say current map is the next map, we're just gonna say, yo, are these your emotes here, Luke? These shadow guys? They're cool. Yo, and oh, you're live right now? Yeah, before we assign this next map, we're gonna cycle through. We're gonna call this mineral reset. This is just gonna be looping through all our minerals. It's at 412, right? Hey, thank you. Hey, thanks, homie. I appreciate that. Yeah, here, I'll shoot you a follow, too. I don't know if I've seen you stream before. Yeah, thanks for hanging. Thanks for saying hi. So yeah, we're going to cycle through the mineral deposits, and all we're going to do is that method we defined, which is reset minerals. But we only want to do it. We're going to do it. Here, let's find it. Mineral deposits. It's a method. It's called reset mineral. And if we run it, you know, I guess we could either just run it, or we could get rid of this if condition. Let's get rid of this if condition and put the if right here. And we can say, well, if the value's harvest time is greater than that, then we're going to reset mineral. That just reads a little better. So we're going to run that reset mineral here. Uh-oh. What did we do? Yeah, reset mineral, but then here in the mineral deposit. Yeah, we're going to get rid of this. Okay, so all a reset mineral does is change our image back to being unmined, becoming literally unmined so that we can mine it again, and then also resetting the harvest time. So let's do this, and we're going to say we want to do, we already deleted, we deleted the condition here, which is if the harvest time is greater than this mineral harvest reset, then we're going to reset that mineral. Okay. So we do have to scale this for more than just the minerals on this one scene, right? But it's a little overkill to do it for 200 scenes when there's only minerals in this one for right now. We're not updating our minerals anymore. Man, we really screwed this up, didn't we? This is the mineral update in the play state. Yeah, this is V update with delta time. How do we manage to do this? And then in our finish shifting, oh my gosh. Okay, in our finish shifting towards the bottom here, we do this reset mineral. Oh, okay. That's where we typed it already. Okay, so yeah, we screwed that up. But let's check for the update now. We should count that harvest time once they're harvested. And then now they'll count regardless of if we actually grab it. So that's good. And it counts regardless of what scene we're on too. So they're still counting. But, oh, look at it, already reset. It already reset because it was past 10 seconds. So let's just try a couple here. We're going to say, yeah, these two are harvested. We're going to come back before 10 seconds. That one got reset. Now we're going to be on the screen here. Oh my god. We're going to be on the screen while it changes past 10 seconds, and we're going to make sure it doesn't like just appear there. But then once it's past 10 seconds, it'll be yeah, okay, so we don't have collision. They're not there. And then if we go off and come back on, they should both be there, which they are. And the resets all seem to be working, right? We're changing the picture. We've got collision back and our harvest timers reset. So it all looks good. Yep. And then right at 10 seconds they come back. So ideally this is more like a minute, at least for the demo. You know, I mean, maybe it's more than a minute, maybe 2 minutes, I don't know. We'll probably just do a minute, and then also we could not update this if it's already passed. If it's already past the you know, we could say if the I don't know, it doesn't really matter, but if the harvest time is greater than the harvest threshold here, you know, we only want to update the time on there if it's not already past that threshold. So now they should stop counting at like 10, just because we don't need to keep counting and incrementing and updating if they're past the reset. So let's just try to do it here. Let's just see. Huh, that didn't work. If our harvest time is greater, oh yeah, if it's smaller than the reset, go ahead and update it. Okay, so now once it gets to 10, it'll be like a little higher than 10, but then it'll stop. Yeah, a little higher than 10, and then if we come back, it'll be reset. That looks right. We got collision back. That looked wrong. Maybe we were just kind of colliding with it already. Yeah, our collision looks a little close, maybe. Let's see again. Yeah, I don't know. That was a little close. But also, no, I think it's okay because it starts the harvest, or it starts the rotation to the right, so it is a little more right sensitive than left sensitive. Oh, that shouldn't have happened. Okay. Yeah, we might need to shrink the collision for the minerals on the X just a little bit, so we can see if the minerals X is smaller than the width. Yeah, we need to minus this side buffer. What do we call it? I think it's just, you know, left side of the mineral would be smaller than the right side of the character. That is not right, right? Left would have to be, this is not right. The left side of our mineral would have to be smaller than the right side of our player. Sure. And the right side of us would be greater than the left side. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let's do, because our player has an empty pixel on either side of us, we have to kind of shrink the collision just a little bit here. And then the right side of us would have to be greater than this plus 2. Okay. So that's 2 pixels less sensitive on the collision for once it's floating around. And we shouldn't get an instant collision here like we were by doing this. Okay, that's good. And then once it turns into us, we do get it. Okay. Let's see if this one, oh, and the collision for this is like 1 pixel 2 inwards. Let's do that real quick on the mineral deposit. Yeah, we're checking. Oh my god. Some of these we do true collisions, and then sometimes we do this, like, not return the opposite of the collision. It just throws me off. But we're saying if the right side of our player is smaller than the target X, yeah, it would be the left side of us is greater than target width left side of us. It's actually not even, yeah, it's not even here. It's upon the actual, yeah, this is the wrong collision. This is spell collides. We need to check for, yeah, this is actually, where do we do mineral collisions? Yeah, it's, oh, it's just baked in here. Okay, so this is our, wow, are we really, you know, either our width is short by 1 on the mineral deposit. Let's try to do that and just add 1 to our width here. Our mineral deposit, this is a little weird. We have a 6. Yeah, this is weird. It is a 6 by 6, so I think this is technically right. let's just say that this is 7 wide and 6 tall. Because we shouldn't have our nose overlap with the mineral on the right side here. Okay, that's more right. Yeah, that looks right. Okay. Okay. That looks right. Yep, that looks right on all sides. Okay, so, one bad thing about the way we've done it is that we're only cycling through the minerals on the one scene we're doing. But it beats updating and checking 100 tables every frame to update a harvest time if they're harvested. So, I don't know, there's got to be a better way to do this. Like, I'm not too worried about it now for the demo, so we'll just move on. We'll leave a to do and optimize this, because I think the way to do it might be like, anytime we harvest a mineral, we take that scene row and column and put it into a list of tables to check, or tables to update every frame for the harvest time. And then if we're flushed the harvest time, if any other minerals are mined, then let's not remove that table. But if there are mined minerals, then we keep updating all the harvest time, so that we're not updating 100 scenes. We're not checking 100 scenes worth of minerals to update, when in reality most of them are going to be unmined anyway, so we don't need to update them. So there's got to be some good optimization we can do there, but right now I think it's okay, because there's only going to be 3 scenes we have minerals on, or 2 scenes we're going to have minerals on, so it's okay to do it this way. So we will have to also copy the harvest time into our save data if we want to get that crazy about it. If we don't want the player to just harvest minerals, save the game, quit the game, load the game, and then the minerals will be reset. I guess what we could do is, instead of saving the data for that, we could just say, yeah, we'd have to save the data for the mined logic. We could just save it for whether it's mined or not and not worry about the time, the harvest time. But I guess if we're checking if it's mined or not, we might as well save the time anyway. So, yeah. I don't think I'll do that today, but let's do. We need our vibrancy. So let's figure out how to get a little bar rendering next to our element of vibrancy, and see what we like for rendering that little bar. So I think I want a red bar over a dark gray bar, and as you drain the vibrancy, it'll drain the height of this thing. So let's try to get it rendering. I guess it would be in the play state, yeah, because we need the vibrancy to render in the pause state as well, in the inventory state. Okay, so we need to drain the vibrancy if you're exerting bonus, basically. Like, regardless of if you're successfully casting a spell, if you're exerting the pressure to cast a spell, we need to be draining the vibrancy of the equipped element. So our element, since this is one thing we do need to touch up, is our element is always equipped, regardless of if we equip it in the inventory or not. So we have to change that to where we only drain it if the proper element's equipped. If there's no element equipped, you can't drain it. But also, since we only have one element, I don't think we'll allow the player to unequip it, actually. Yeah, because there's no reason to have it not equipped. It won't do you any good other than stop casting a spell when you press the spellcast button, but maybe we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so let's go find, it's weird because our element is like kind of just, I want to say it's just spread into the play state. Because yeah, see, we have this where we're saying this is our Monis. Monis is the basically like your energy to cast a spell. So I'm trying to think of where we're kind of doing this. Monis regen. We need this Monis drain. Yeah, so this looks like it's all in the, if input down is action, if you're casting a spell and you're, oh my god, okay. Yeah, we need to rehaul, after we're done with the demo, we need to rehaul our code base to take out the old touch input logic because we're still doing stuff based on the buttons table. But also, if I just turn it off now, I'm pretty sure it'll break, so in the sake of getting the demo done by April 1st, we're going to leave it for now. But we basically need to drain the Monis here, or drain the vibrancy. So we'll call it vibrancy drain. Now we don't have anything to drain just yet, so it should probably be on the player, not on the play state, yeah, because the player needs different vibrancy for different spells. So we'll go to the player class and we'll add, we'll go to the player class and we'll add a Flamma vibrancy. Let's say it starts off at 100. We'll see what the rates look like, because we have to also render it based on its vibrancy, because the bar drains as you use it. So basically, if it's between 0 and 10, we need 1 pixel. If it's 10 pixels tall, so we kind of need to figure out what that looks like. So let's just try to draw it onto our HUD here. It's probably in the play state. Okay, so yeah, we'll do our vibrancy last here. So we'll say this is vibrancy render. Now we need 2 things. We need to we're rendering Flamma right here. So this is a good starting point for the X and Y. But we need to basically set this color to be a dark gray, then render it. Then we can render another thing with a different height. Yeah, since Love2d draws at the top left quadrant and we want this thing to shrink, we would need to change the Y as it shrinks, which is kind of annoying. Ideally we would like to just say that there's a height. It draws it at the bottom. Oh, okay, yeah, we'll shrink it by the height, not based on the Y value. So that's how we'll do it. So let's do a set color here, and we just want like a gray color. So it'll be almost white, so maybe like 200 on all RGB. That might be too bright. Yeah, that'll be too bright, but let's see. And then fully opaque. And then when we go to draw the rectangle, we'll say it is graphics rectangle, type fill, X and Y. So like we'll do where we're rendering the Flamma down there, which is a width divided by 2. And let's just not minus the 11. That might be 2. So just minus a couple on the x, and then the y of a virtual height minus 13. That probably looks good. And then we'll do a width of 2 or 1. So let's say 2, and then the height is going to be 10 pixels just to test. So we're looking for a little rectangle to the right of our Flamma. Hopefully it's gray. Yeah, it's light gray. So let's scoot it over maybe 5 more pixels on the X. So we'll say we're going to just, yeah, we're going to plus this 3. And then we're going to set all these 200s to be more like 100. Okay, it's yeah, it needs to be darker. So let's say 100 is actually 30. Should be dark gray. And this is like, yeah. Okay, I want it left 1 or 2 pixels. So let's see. Left 2 pixels if it's too close. Yeah, it looks too close. Okay. So this, if it's 10 pixels tall, I kind of like that. So that's empty. So if your vibrancy is drained, it'll look like that, an empty bar. And then we need to basically control the height. So like this is like the empty vibrancy bar. But then we need the full vibrancy bar. And it'll be red. So we'll do red. It'll be the color of the element that you've got equipped. So since Flamma's red, it'll be this color. So if we were to render that bar on top, yeah. But I think we need to draw this one from the bottom. Oh, we can't draw it from the bottom. Yeah, we cannot draw it from the bottom. I wonder if we can flip. Because basically, once we change the height of this thing, if we change the height of this thing, it will shrink. You know, the top will stay and the bottom will shrink upwards if we change the height. We want it to be flipped so that if we change the height, it shrinks this way. So I think maybe we see if we can flip it. If we can flip it, then we just change the height based on the vibrancy left, and hopefully it renders correctly. So we might be able to flip it so that the height shrinks it instead of makes it shrink on the other axis. So let's try this, and we'll do, I think what we want to do here is like I don't know how I want to test this. I just want to get a value that is going from 0 to 100 and back down again. So like just to, because it's like in order to see how the offset's working, we kind of need to do this. So I'm gonna call this what do we call this? We can call it vibrancy. This is just testing, right? So we can just call it vibrancy okay. So we're gonna have a value, and then we have a boolean to trigger it. Then in our update, we're just going to say, well, if our vibrancy is... Do we grow? Yeah, we grow. If we're growing, then we're going to say vibrancy gets updated. And we're going to say that this is clamped to 100. Yeah, and actually, yeah, we're going to do it 10 for now because it's 10 tall. So if this is the height that we're working with, we want to have it be as tall as the bar that we're working with. So then we could say if we're in vibrancy grow, then if vibrancy is clamped at 10, then we're gonna shrink. And if we're shrinking, we need to decrement this. So we'll say vibrancy gets minus delta time, and then we want to clamp it at 0. So we'll say the bigger of two values, either 0 or the updated shrink. And then we'll do the same thing. Oops. Yeah, we'll say then if the vibrancy is at 0, we need to go back to grow. Okay, so now that we're doing this in the play state, now we should be able to use this vibrancy as the height so that we can see the bar growing and shrinking. So let's do this, and we'll give the height as our vibrancy, because I want to check. Yeah, I want it to be able to shrink the opposite direction. So there we go. Oh, and you know what? We don't need to, wow, yeah. We don't need to actually do this. We could just swap the values. Yeah, we could just swap the values, because like the illusion that the red bar is growing downwards could be the same illusion of the gray bar growing downwards. So like all we should have to do is just switch. Well, let's see, because we want to know, well, yeah, we want to switch the color. So if we can draw the empty bar at the vibrancy amount, and that will make it look like the red bar is draining. Oh my gosh, that's a little confusing. But yeah, we don't have to do this flip axis anything, because what's happening here is the red bar is being drawn at a certain height, right? So the red bar is contracting. Yeah, so instead of the bright red bar being shrunk, we're gonna just we need to switch the colors basically. But if we switch the colors, yeah, we need to switch the colors, I think. Yeah, so now it looks like the red's draining as vibrancy grows. Is that right? So let's do... Yes, so as vibrancy grows, it's shrinking. So Okay, so what we can do, we have to keep... we could... Yeah, this is a little backwards. Like what we can do, as vibrancy is shrinking, we get more of it. So like at a full vibrancy, it's actually drained. So, and that's because we're rendering the height of the drained bar over the vibrancy. So we could convert, I guess we would need to kind of convert, because ideally we have, you know, vibrancy getting smaller. It doesn't really matter. It's just weird to think about. As you use vibrancy, it goes up, because it's supposed to be getting less vibrant. But we need this value to be going up as we get drained. So we either need to... Yeah, we just need this value to get up. Yeah, it's just a little weird. Yeah, because ideally we say, hey, our vibrancy for this spell is 100. As we use it, it gets lower and lower. But what we need a result like this, where as we use the spell, the vibrancy actually goes up, because that's how we're rendering the feedback for it. Okay. Well, I'm going to fill up my water and I'll be right back. I'm trying to think if there's a better, or if there's a way we can kind of swap this number. This is okay. We can convert. We could just increase vibrancy as we use it. It's just a little weird. Because basically, yeah, all the vibrancy is like, hey, do we have enough vibrancy to use this? And this would be like, now, this would look like, well, if our vibrancy is max, then we can't use it. If it's empty, then we can use it. So it's a little backwards. But that's okay. I mean, yeah, it's the same thing anyway. It's just, yeah, it won't be that tough. So now we basically need a way to control this vibrancy with the spellcasting. So instead of it just cycling through like we've got it, we're going to do it based on how much spellcast. So I'm just going to look at the bar here. So it's like if it's full, this might be okay. Yeah, so like, let's look at this and let's stop updating vibrancy so we can test a couple different values. So if we go to our vibrancy and stop updating, then let's just see what certain values are. So we're capped at 10, so if we're going to render the vibrancy, let's just set vibrancy equal to 10. Now 10 should be empty, so we should see no bar of red, just the gray. Yeah, so let's see if we have a vibrancy of 9, if we see 1 bar. Yeah, 1 bar, 1 pixel high. Then if we're at vibrancy of 0, we should have a full bar of red. Yes, and then if we have 1 vibrancy, we have 1 pixel of spent vibrancy. Yeah, okay. So we have this variable for our player, and it's called Llama Vibrancy. Okay, so since there's only 1 spell for the demo, we have this Flama Vibrancy. Now, I mean, might as well. We need this to be a multiple of 10. But it's actually going to be 0 because 0 is full. So we're going to render the Flama Vibrancy instead of Vibrancy here. And that's on our player. So we're going to go to our player, take out our Flama Vibrancy, and that's what we're rendering here, which should be full. And then if we spellcast, yeah, it looks full. Then if we spellcast, we basically just need a really small number. So like, you know, either we do this and do we divide this by 10. I think that's probably what we're going to have to do, because it's going to drain too fast otherwise. So when we are doing this vibrancy, actually it's when we're doing the monostrain. Okay, so when we do this, we're also going to do, well, we have vibrancy deplete, right? Vibrancy drain, okay. So yeah, we're going to say that basically if we're casting a spell, and if our, you know, we want to... We basically don't want to do any of this stuff if we don't have the vibrancy too. So we have to decide if it really is out of 100. I think we should make it out of 100. Let's test that. So if the player here okay. Yep. It starts at 0. Okay. So we're basically going to say, like, we only want to do any of this stuff if our vibrancy, well, this is a little tricky because we need different spells. So like it depends on the one that's active, but for right now we only have Flama. So we're going to say if Flama vibrancy is, you know, we need, you know, we only need to do this stuff. We can worry about that once we get it draining, actually. So let's just say that if we're spell casting, then we need to take our player's vibrancy and increase it, even though it's losing its vibrancy, but that's just how we did it. We're going to set our global player's vibrancy to be a bigger number. And if it's over 100, then delta time would mean that you have 100 seconds of spell casting. So we probably don't want that much spellcasting, so let's upgrade it by maybe twice as fast. I don't know. But we're drawing the vibrancy bar based on the player's Flamme vibrancy now. And if we're successfully spellcasting, we do increase that number. So let's just, and we want to clamp it. We want to clamp it to 100. So we're going to say the smaller of two numbers, either 100 or this updated vibrancy amount. So this should drain over time as we cast it. But then, then it's clamped to 100. Now, it doesn't stop us from actually casting, which it does need to. But this... Jimmy is staring at me. Okay, so let's see. Our vibrancy should go down as we spellcast now because we're rendering it. We need to divide by 10 though. We need to divide by 10, otherwise we just never drain. We drain very slow. Yeah, because this... Yeah, here, this needs to be... The height needs to be Flamme vibrancy right here. There we go. So we have the vibrancy draining as I press spacebar. It is way too fast. We don't want it to drain that fast. But this is a good speed to maybe test. Because look, we still have... Oh yeah, see, we're past 10. So we need to clamp... Yeah, we give up on printing. Ooh, Flamme vibrancy is going past 10 here. We don't even divide it by 10. We just say straight up height of Flamme vibrancy. So how is this working? Vibrancy... Dude, how is this working? We gave it 100 and it works as if it was 10. It's rendering the right size. But the size should be limited to 10 pixels. Because we're rendering a dark bar over the red bar as vibrancy increases. Oh, so the dark bar should be able to go past... It should be able to go past the bottom of the bar if I'm... Yeah, see how it's growing? It's growing lower and lower, yeah. So that is wrong. We want to divide this by 10 so that we clamp it to... Since it's out of 100, we divide by 10 so we can clamp it to 10. So it shouldn't... We clamp it to 100, so now it should drain much slower. Yeah, now it drains much slower. So let's see. That speed seems about right for the vibrancy drain. Our Monos is totally jacked though. Okay, we're seeing if it clamps to 0 or clamps to 100 really. Okay, it's empty, and then it's at about 100. So you have a little juice in the tank. You have a little juice in the tank once you hit 100 vibrancy. Once you can't see the render bar, you still have a little bit of juice in the tank. Because it renders empty even though you have like 9 vibrancy. So there is a little bit of juice in the tank. I don't know if we want to change that. If it's empty, you should not be able to cast a spell, right? But there's like a little bit of juice left. We could I don't know. Yeah, we could just modify the render. I don't know. It comes down to how love.graphics.rectangle is drawing a height of a thing, you know, because we're saying the height is like 0.4. So since it's under 1, it just doesn't draw it, even though there is some left. Yeah, so those are some of the spells, Luke Wolf. We've only got the one in the game, the red one, right now. But we've got stuff in the works. So, yeah. Dude, game dev's tough. It's really tough. So it's been, you know, it's been a year of development and we're not even done with the demo yet. So we've got one spell, one dungeon, and a loot system. But, you know, a lot of the game tools we need are there. So like we've got, you know, we've got a lot of the pieces of the puzzle, but we just need to piece it together now. Okay, so we want to not drain our llama vibrancy if it's, or we want to, shoot man, how do we do this? You know, something that's really jacked up is that our spell is able to cast, like basically for the game here, when our Manus is empty, it should drain our focus meter completely, our focus indicator. So I think we turn that off for development. But basically, yeah, we need it to drain. If Manus is depleted, oh my god, dude. Some of the words we chose here. Dude, what? So we clamp our Manus to 0. If our Manus is greater than 0, what are we doing with Manus timer, dude? We're not doing anything with Manus timer. We're really not doing anything. But what the heck, dude? I don't remember what the heck unfocus was. Unfocus is like the waveringness of your white focus indicator. That was just so weird. Dude, what did we do here? What did we do? This is so bad. We really just need to defer all the magic update into the current equipped magic. So like we should just say like, you know, we just cycle through, or we get the magic that is equipped and we just update it, and then have all this kind of separate, because every spell has different rules. The Flamma has this unfocus feature, which is like as you hit spacebar, the result of your focus is that white bar, and it kind of like, the unfocus is like how unshaky it grows, because it's not a linear 1-to-1. As you input energy, you get a predictable output. That's the unfocus, where it's like it kind of just like shifts. So, but basically we want to say, you know, we need to say, what the heck, man, dude? Why do we call it this? Unfocus. Yeah, we basically apply unfocus. Clamp focus. Oh, here, look. If Manus is 0, so we can say if it is smaller than or equal to 0, then we're going to do our focus shrink. Or it's this Manus drain. So let's do this. If minus is smaller than or equal to 0, then we're going to just take our focus indicator X and just decrement it over time. So let's see. Once our minus hits 0, our focus indicator is draining here. So this is what we did for the game. We took this minus drain and made it a very little number so that it didn't really put a strain on us as we were programming. So see, this minus drain is a 0.45. It should be a much bigger number. So like let's try, we are scaling it by delta time, so let's just try 10 and see if that's crazy. Yeah, so okay. Okay. So yeah, regardless of if we're in a successful spellcast, it'll still drain our element's vibrancy over time. And it's, it's fairly generous. We get about, I don't know what this is, like 2 minutes of spellcasting before we're out of vibrancy. And then I think once you get the elements here, like once you harvest the upgrade elements here, it'll not only increase your spellcast entity count, but it'll also increase the vibrancy drain. So or it'll decrease the vibrancy drain. So it'll make it last a little bit longer for vibrancy's sake, as well as be overpowered, or like more entities for you to collide with. So it is strong. We need to reset our vibrancy upon resting. So let's do that. And we'll say that we need to put it, all it is a Flamma vibrancy that needs to get reset to 0. So if we meditate, yes, or whatever we have. Really, we don't have a meditate. Meditate. Yeah, if meditate, yes. Right here. Once we change to player meditate, we need to also just reset the vibrancy. So we can say Llama vibrancy is back to 0. So, and one good thing about the way we're doing it now is if we increase the vibrancy threshold to make it last longer once we upgrade it, we still reset the vibrancy to 0 for all elements. So that's one good thing about it, about drawing it downwards like that. All weird. But if we drain this so that we don't have full vibrancy, we'll see if the meditate renders it back. Okay, so we're out of energy here. We're out of some vibrancy. We're going to meditate, and it did not reset our Flamma vibrancy. So let's see why. Flamma vibrancy. Yeah, Flamma vibrancy gets 0. That should be it. Oh, this is in a dialogue box. So, I mean, we will need it here, but we need it in a save when we save it. Oh, I mean, this is where we save it. What is this? In the dialog box, when we hit the action button and we're on the last page and our meditate option is yes, we set our Flamma vibrancy here. Now where is it the other way? We have it here, and this is... What is the difference? 214 or 250? And this is if the action button's pressed, and this is if the action button's pressed. So what's the difference here? Why do we do this twice? Action B button. Oh, if we cancel, yeah, we don't want it here. Okay. We don't want it if we cancel. Let's see. Okay. We're going to meditate, and it refreshed our vibrancy. Cool. Why was it here? Why do we change a state machine? But here, if action B... We don't need this. This is wrong. Action B cancels our dialog box, so we shouldn't be doing this. Yeah, we're saying activated is false, reset this stuff. I don't think we need this stuff here. I don't think we need this. Let's see, if we cancel out while we read this dialog box. Yeah. Okay, if we lose some vibrancy, we talk to this and meditate, we gain our vibrancy back. Okay. Cool. So let's make sure... I think we can delete this. I think we did it for a reason though, and I think it's if we cancel it. See, no, I don't know. I think we can just delete it. We shouldn't. Let's test maybe on a multi-page dialogue we did it to kind of reset. Oh god, to reset the page as we prematurely exit. So if there's like more than one page, we reset it. So there's only one dialog box on most of these. We'll have to test this. Okay, I think we can do. Let's leave us a little note here. It's like check multi-page dialog boxes upon exiting if they reset current page. I think they do, but that's the only thing I could think of by doing this here. We might need only this line, but I'm not sure. So let's get our Flamma render in the correct render order, because I think we're missing. Yeah, so right here, when we do this vibrancy render, we want to do this inside the scene, so that the scene transition renders over it. So this scene transition, we want it after this. So this is where we want our vibrancy render. Yo, what up, Murakumo? How's it going? Okay. Yeah, exactly, yes. So, Murakumo, I've been developing this for just over a year now, and I post all the devlogs to my YouTube channel, so you can see it from the very beginning if you wanted to. I think I'm on episode, well, yeah, on this series, I think I'm on, yeah, I must be on episode like 350 something, because it's been a year over of development. Oh shit. But yeah. Man, I don't know if we're gonna do this. Oh, we're barely gonna make it. Okay, so that's the first dungeon here. And we're trying to finish the demo by April 1st. So we just added this new feature for elements. We can recharge them here at the meditation idol. So it just charged up its bar so that we can cast more. Oh, the Flamma render is out. We need to move the Flamma render here too. Yeah, I mean, definitely inspired by Link's Awakening. Link's Awakening is the big one here that it's inspired by. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been a lot of work, and we're about to get the demo done, so that's really exciting. Yeah, I'm hoping, we got a friendly bet with the person who did the artwork for us for the game, and we're both finishing goals of our project to finish it by April 1st. So he's doing 14 pages of his manga, and I'm doing the demo for the game here by April 1st. And it is not my own game engine. It is Love2d. So it's a open source game engine for Lua programming, and I really like it, especially because I can deploy. There's a program called Love.js that you can deploy Love games onto websites. So I'm deploying the game onto the website as well, so you can play it on phone. I added little Game Boy controls for your phone to play it like it's a Game Boy. So it works with Game Boy controls and on the phone. It's just that right now the mobile deployment is stuck. It's on the opening cinematic right now. I'll probably update it tonight to make it so that it deploys to this scene here, so that you can actually come into the dungeon and start playing in the dungeon, because right now it's just like a couple weeks old where I was testing the cinematic instead of this main area. So we're gonna put, yeah, I'll update that soon, but it's a little bit playable right now on that site, but I'll be updating it so that you can actually play the dungeon here. So yeah, we're trying to, we just added the vibrancy feature to the spell casting here, which is one of the last things we needed for the demo. Now that we've got that, the next things on the list, it's probably the loot next, because what I've been doing is tackling the hardest stuff first, the hardest stuff next. Always, I just say like, what's the hardest thing? Let's go do it. What's the hardest thing? Let's go do it. So the next hardest thing is here. We have this loot system, so if you equip your loot and then you play it, you get this little like Guitar Hero mini game with the different frets playing different notes. So this is the next hard thing, is we need to get a good sounding song for you to play, and that's the end of the demo. Is you solve the riddle for the tome. You go through the dungeon, you get the ancient tome with the sheet music. That if you equip that, it'll be the correct notes as it scrolls by. So, oh my god. Yeah, so there's little stuff like right now, solo dev, there is tunics you can equip, so different colored tunics. Right now, they don't do anything different, other than the green tunic will allow you to push objects. Actually, you don't need any tunic equipped to push objects at the moment, but that'll be a quick add, because in the game you only can push them if you've got the green tunic on. So there's also 4 different spells. Right now we only have the one Firecast spell, but we do have 4 different elements for spell casting, so depending on which one you equip, he's holding a little spell in his hand, or a little orb element in his hand, and that's what he's using the energy of to cast the spells here. So it's magic and music, and it's gonna and yeah, the loot is the next part here. Yo, I'm glad that Discord command worked. I forgot I had that. Let me know if the link doesn't work. Thanks. Yeah, it's so like the game is calculated at Game Boy resolution. So all the logic is like true Game Boy resolution, and that also means, well, the way we're doing it, we have this tiled map editor that we're exporting all the tile IDs. So we have one sheet, right? We have a master tile sheet that we have all our tiles. We draw them using the tile master sheet. So like the whole game's artwork is drawn from the one tile sheet, right? Just like the old school games. And then it's like the game as we're playing only really ever knows of what it's currently looking at. So like we only know the current scene, and then as we scene transition, we pull in all the entities, we pull in all the things that were defined to be in there, all the animatable tiles, whatever. So our game is like super tiny, it's like super tiny, and it only really knows of what's currently on screen, basically. So it's like, I don't know, it's been really interesting to kind of try to make. So I've just been teaching myself as I go along. I did watch, there was a Zelda tutorial on CS50 Game Dev on YouTube, and they do like a little Zelda dungeon stuff, and that's how I got the idea and some of the code for like the event trigger for switching scenes and stuff. But we do it our own way with our tile sheet. We do things a little bit differently because we just have different needs than that Zelda tutorial. But I did have to watch. Well, I probably could have figured it out, but I used that series to get me started on the scene transition stuff. So everything else is like from my own brain, figuring stuff out, but the scene transition stuff was definitely from getting started with CS50. Okay, nice. Yeah, man. Well, I say just go for it. I'm not a developer. Well, I'm trying to get a job as a developer, right? I'm just a dude who just does this on the free time. So if you're already a developer, Lua, that's why I recommend Lua, is because like Lua, if you can do back-end developing, you can do Lua scripting. It's super easy. Super, super easy. Like you know, here's the if logic. It's literally just if, else if. Here's a loop logic. You just do for key value in pairs. So it's like super easy. Okay, nice, yeah. Then there's a bunch of stuff you can do with C++. So yeah, dude, if you can do C++, you can definitely make a game. Definitely. Yeah, I say you should go for it. I don't know what this lunar games are though. I don't know what that is. I did buy this Gumroad Love2d How to Make an RPG, and that's helped me think about certain things, but I haven't used any of the code or that engine. It's a different engine than Love2d, so I kind of use it for ideas on like how to think about game design for an RPG. Okay, cool. Yeah. So like, yeah, and this game has elements like that. Like you can talk to the NPCs and stuff. But there isn't much. Oh, we took out the mage here. Yeah, we took out the mage and we need to get the tavern back. So yeah, right now there's no NPCs, but we do have them. So yeah, next up on the list, we need to get a lute song working. So I'll probably mess around with the current notes and see if I can, you know, because the thing is with the lute, once we equip it and start playing, we have these notes, right? Whatever those notes are, I forget. I wrote them down somewhere, but we have the steps for the frets. So there's a couple notes here that are repeated. Like, it's not every unique. There's 12 notes, but some of them are repeated because I spread them out where if you strum it, it's a certain sort of distance, you know. I forget what it is. It's like if this is C, D, E, then it goes from a C to an E for this jump. Then if this is E, F, G, then this note is A. So dude, this is tough, man. So yeah, there's a jump between the notes here so we can reach higher notes, but also so that it sounds good when we strum. Because on Game Boy, if you do the diagonal inputs, it'll strum 2 strings at once, and you can do 2 strings at once playing on computer. So like if we just willy-nilly did this, every note is 1 semitone above, then when we do these notes together, they sound a little weird. So that's why there's some overlapping notes, and that means that we don't have a full 12 semitones to play with for melodies. But it does mean that if a person doesn't know the music they're playing, that if they play random notes, it actually kind of still sounds good. So I don't know if we need to change this. It's just that if we change, you know, it's a lot of work to try to figure out which notes exactly play on which frets that are being held so that the strings sound together when played simultaneously. So I don't think we'll change it before the demo's out. So I guess it just comes down to hopefully I can get a good sounding melody out of the current setup, and if we can, then I'll try to lock in the sheet music for this first tome, because this is the next hardest step. Once we finish So the background here is official game art for the game. So our friend Saltamanga drew this for us. So this is like the official artwork for the game. So it's super cool. Salto's a great dude. If you're into drawing and stuff, give him a follow. I'm sure I should do a little command for him. But yeah, he's a great artist, and he's done the good work for us doing this. He also did this corrupted Jimmy. That corrupted gecko. There's corrupted geckos in the games too. And then, yeah, so he did all of this official art, and then I did the art for the rest of the game. All the pixel art is all me, and then all of this stuff is Salto. But I guess, I think I'm going to call it for the night. I think we just need to, I'll try to figure out a melody for the sheet music tomorrow, but also part of the sheet music, part of the mini game for the loot is, I think I want to have the first 4 notes scroll through, and those are the bass notes. So once you get the first 4 notes correct, those kind of go on a loop and play like the bass melody, and then we'll play the melody on top so that we can have a little bit more variety instead of just one note at a time. Because I don't want it to be, it's going to be tough because you're trying to play Guitar Hero on computer basically, with non-traditional fret looking stuff. So it's not very easy. But we'll try to, I'm thinking if we do the bass notes first, we can get those looping, and then the melody can be slower so that it can give the player a little bit, more practice. And then if we do like an infinite loop thing, then they can just keep practicing the melody as it loops through, and then keep practicing to try to get it. Because we actually have it in game where we're registering the frets and the strings for a correct hit or not. So if we don't have the right frets, we took out 2 frets because we changed it to be only Game Boy controlled. So here, if we hit we'd have to hit the 3rd string, oh god, with the 2nd fret here for this diagonal one. But it is registering, they turn red if you hit the wrong note. So see how they turn red if you hit the wrong note, and they turn green if you hit the right note. So this one is green, that one's green because we hit the right fret and the right string. So we have a method to determine whether or not we're actually hitting the right notes. I don't know how easily adaptable it is for an infinite loop so that the player can stay in the looping music and play it until they succeed, right? But there's also like a loot free mode. If you unequip your tome sheet music, then you can sit and just practice and just play different strings until you kind of get the hang of it. Have a way to leave it. Yeah, there is a way. The way to leave it is just you unequip the tome you've got here in your inventory, and then you can leave it. It's tough because we're limited to the Game Boy game controls, because I'm gonna ship the game on mobile, which means it needs to work on touch controls, and that means we're using the Game Boy overlay. So it's tricky because we've only got an A and B button and a start and select button. So in order to enter the loot state, you hit the B button when the loot is equipped. But also, once the loot's equipped, the B button needs to be the frets that you're playing. So in order to exit, we have to pull, we can't, we hit B to go into the loot state, but we can't hit B to come out because B is now a fret, one of the 2 frets that you can play. So I did the whole Game Boy overlay myself. So there is, if we go to the scale factor here, I am using an input library to register key presses, but I had to manually add the touch detection for that, which was not very easy. But the Game Boy thing is something I drew up. Where is our scale factor set here? If we go to the scale factor, where do we set it? I can shrink it and show you. If I can just find it. Right here, scale factor. If we scale this down, I can show you. Yeah, it's in NeoVim. So this is the Game Boy overlay here. So if you're on mobile, it looks like this. And then if you press the buttons, we have start and select. So the buttons kind of render there to show the input. But we had to do basically everything. This is one reason why it's been a year of development and we don't even have the demo done yet, is because all of this stuff. So but it works, when we're done with the game and once we're done with the demo, we're going to be able to ship on Linux, Windows, Mac, Android, iOS, and the web. So it's like, we can ship it anywhere. So that's going to be really cool. So I think it was worth the effort to get that working. It's just, it took quite a bit. But if anyone's interested in using it, the code, I post all the source code. So if anyone who wants to use it can use it, it's up there. Yeah, I'm excited. We're in a good spot. So yeah, I think tomorrow we'll try to nail down. I'll do some playing around and try to get the melody for the first tome, because if we can figure that out in the next 3-ish days, that gives us about 2 weeks to polish for the demo and 2 weeks to give us, we need to make a couple more assets for the overworld because we have very few. So we'll do some pixel art, and that was the whole reason of trying to tackle the hard stuff first, is so that in the 2 weeks leading up to the demo release, we can just worry about, now it's just going to be some chill pixel art, and we just draw some bigger scenes, and we can just make our game prettier and better at the end. We still need to add the refinery, so that'll probably be after the loot. But once we add the loot and the refinery, god dang it, then we need the closing cinematic for the demo. So that's another. So we have 3 major things left, and then we can dive into polish and new pixel art. But yeah, we're still shooting for an April 1st demo release day. Well, not demo release, but demo done and ready by April 1st. So let's hope we can do it. I think we can. Thanks for hanging, everybody. I'll find someone to raid and I'll call it a night. I did not commit yet, did I? We basically, we added 2 things, which is great. We added the mineral regeneration upon a minute, right? Regenerate. Actually, it's still just 10 seconds. Let's make it a minute. Yeah, let's make it a minute. Thanks for hanging, Murakomo. Yeah, it was nice talking to you. We'll, I've got on my YouTube channel, on Finding Focus on YouTube, I've got everything from the very first day of development for this series. So if you ever want to see, I like that it's paired, I have the date on there. So if there's a particular part of the game you want to see, you can go find the git commit for that day and then go on YouTube and see the VOD for that day and watch me program it. So I always think that's a cool part of the channel, is I'm streaming the whole process of building it, and anyone can go look up whatever part they're interested in. So we do need to just change it from 10 seconds of a mineral refresh to what do we call it? We call it harvest time. Yeah, mineral harvest reset. I think this is a 10. We wanted a 60. And then, so 1 minute until the minerals come back once you harvest it, and then they'll be regenerated. So let's do a commit here. We added mineral regeneration, and we added element vibrancy for the first time. Depletion and regeneration. Sweet. All right, we'll find someone to raid out to. Let's see who's on. You know, we haven't raided Hypnotic in a while. Oh, it looks like he's playing a game though. We'll raid out to Jed because he's always working on some cool stuff. Thanks for hanging, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow, and I hope you all have a great night.